Energy Crisis Overview. Together, we can turn this crisis into a catalyst for positive change. The time to act is now, before it's too late. Energy is the lifeblood of modern civilization. From the lights that illuminate our cities to the factories that produce our goods, the global energy system powers our world. But today, that system is under immense pressure. Fossil fuel depletion, environmental degradation, and geopolitical conflicts have pushed us to the brink of an energy crisis. This video explores how these crises are unfolding and what solutions we have at our disposal to create a more sustainable energy future. It is a race against time, and the decisions we make now will determine the energy security of future generations. The question we face is, can we transition quickly enough to avoid catastrophic consequences? The answer lies in how we act today. What is driving the current energy crises? The first culprit, fossil fuels. Oil, coal, and natural gas have fueled economic growth for centuries. But these resources are finite, and their environmental cost is devastating. Global consumption has skyrocketed, with developing economies like China and India adding enormous pressure to the demand. This over-reliance on non-renewable resources threatens our planet's ecosystems and jeopardizes long-term energy security. Without significant changes, our dependence on fossil fuels could lead to widespread shortages, price shocks, and environmental collapse. As fossil fuel reserves diminish, the economic and environmental fallout could become uncontrollable. Moving away from fossil fuels is not just necessary, it's urgent. Energy crises are not just environmental, they are geopolitical. Regions rich in oil and gas, like the Middle East and Russia, hold much of the world's energy reserves, and conflicts over control of these resources often lead to instability. Nations with fewer energy resources are left vulnerable, relying on imports and foreign suppliers. This imbalance of power leads to economic uncertainty and geopolitical tensions, as energy becomes a weapon in international politics, putting millions of lives and livelihoods at risk. The Russia-Ukraine conflict is a recent example of how energy dependencies can fuel major international crises and disrupt entire regions. As countries compete for limited resources, energy becomes a trigger for conflict and negotiation, driving global instability. Ensuring energy independence has never been more critical for nations across the globe. Beyond geopolitics, energy crises create economic turmoil. Price shocks lead to inflation, while supply shortages slow down production across industries. Economies dependent on cheap energy, especially in developing nations, face immense challenges in sustaining growth and stability. Meanwhile, environmental damage from excessive fossil fuel use continues to escalate, driving catastrophic changes in the climate that will only worsen unless immediate action is taken to reverse the course. Rising sea levels, extreme weather events, and collapsing ecosystems are just some of the consequences linked to our current energy practices. The economic and environmental fallout is deeply interconnected, with one crisis often amplifying the other. The longer we delay addressing these crises, the higher the costs will be for our economies, societies, and the planet itself. Despite the challenges, there is hope. The future of energy lies in renewables. Solar, wind, and hydro are the keys to a sustainable energy future. But transitioning from fossil fuels to renewables requires time, investment, and innovation. Countries around the world are rapidly increasing their renewable capacity, but the pace of change must accelerate to meet global demands. Technological breakthroughs in energy storage, efficiency, and grid modernization are critical to making renewable energy reliable and accessible. This transformation won't happen overnight, but with coordinated global efforts, we can transition to a cleaner and more resilient energy system. Every investment in renewable energy brings us closer to securing energy for future generations while reducing environmental harm. The path forward is clear, but it requires bold leadership, and sustained action. But for the energy transition to succeed, innovation and global cooperation are critical. Breakthroughs in energy storage, such as more efficient batteries, will make intermittent sources like solar and wind more reliable. Governments must step up with policies that incentivize clean energy technologies, reduce emissions, and encourage investment in sustainable infrastructure. International collaboration is also essential to address the complex global nature of energy and environmental crises, ensuring that no nation is left behind in this monumental transition. We need to create a world where renewable energy is not just viable, but the foundation of our energy systems. Only through comprehensive innovation and policy reform can we meet the energy demands of the future while protecting the planet. The solutions are within reach, but they require a shared global commitment to sustainability. The energy crisis is a challenge, but it also presents an opportunity to reshape our future. By investing in renewable energy, driving technological innovation, and enacting smart policies, we can avoid the worst of the crises and create a sustainable future for generations to come. It's not just about overcoming today's obstacles. It's about rethinking how we power our world for the long term. The question is, how will we respond? If we act now, we have the chance to build a future where clean, reliable energy powers our economies and protects our planet. Every decision we make today will determine the kind of world we pass on to future generations. We need to shift from short-term fixes to long-term solutions that prioritize sustainability over profit. Governments, corporations, and individuals all have a role to play in this transformation. Whether it's through supporting renewable energy projects, reducing personal energy consumption, or advocating for stronger environmental policies, every action counts. The energy crisis may seem daunting, but history has shown that humanity is capable of incredible progress when faced with challenges. Together, we can turn this crisis into a catalyst for positive change. The time to act is now, before it's too late.